Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week. Obviously, just coming back off of the game on Saturday. The things that I talked about in the post game were a lot of what we saw show up on film. I thought our guys competed throughout the game. I thought they battled through all situations. We didn't get off to the start that we were hopeful for. Missed some opportunities. Gave up a couple of explosive plays. Going on the road with a lot of new and young faces there on the offensive side of the ball. It took us a little while to kind of get into that rhythm. I was pleased with how those guys continued to fight, continued to battle. We knew we needed to be able to establish a run game, and I thought that Chubba and Tate, for the couple series that he went in, those guys, they got better as the game went on, and just being able to. I thought the game truly slowed down for them. Chubba was extremely efficient in what he did with his arm, and then obviously was able to make some plays with his legs, when things broke down, and I think he ran for over 50 yards, throughout the course of the game. But definitely excited about some of the things that showed up there. Ontario Wilson had a big game. Had a couple of explosive plays. I think Jashawn Corbin, really ran extremely tough. Was able to do some things in the wildcat position. We were limited at running back. LaDamian was limited, due to being sick for most of the week, and then Lawrence was unavailable in the contest, so really kind of tested our depth on that side of the ball. The four freshmen that started up on the offensive line, they battled and competed throughout the course of the game. You end up playing, I think, 7 linemen, and those guys, they're coming along. Obviously we're not necessarily where we want to be, but I think we're definitely heading in the right direction in that regards. Defensively, as a whole, I thought I continue to see some bright spots and just growth on that side of the ball. I mean, we've got to do a better job in situational football. I mean, third down situations were poor. We gave them. I think they were able to convert 10 out of 15, opportunities, and that really came down to a number of different factors. I mean, there was a couple times the quarterback scrambled, and you kind of put us in a run pass conflict where they were able to hit some open receivers, down the field. There's a handful of times that we got beat against leverage of what we're trying to take away in certain situations, and we're playing a couple of young guys there in the defensive backfield that they're just continuing to grow and learn from those experiences. And that's something that it's part of some of the growing pains that we're dealing with. But we have to continue to improve to be able to execute that in those situations there on game day. And but I was proud of our guys for how they competed. I thought they, like I said, they battled to the end. Just like I said in the post game, we don't go just to play hard. I mean, we go to want to win the game, and there's a lot of factors and a lot of things that have to continue to improve for us to put ourselves in position to do that on a more consistent basis. And so we kind of changed up the week just a little bit through the course of the weekend. Playing the late night game, actually gave the guys off, used yesterday as the off day. They were able to come in for treatments and things like that. But today we actually met this morning and going to have our normal Sunday practice, here this evening. So we'll be able to get that work in, and then all of our focus goes to Clemson starting tomorrow with a normal Tuesday. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
First one will be Chris Meade.
Coach, 2 questions on Chubba Purdy. First, was the play calling intentionally kind of safe early on for him to let him get settled into the game? And secondly, what kind of feedback did he give you guys after the game and in the time you maybe spoke since then?
I think when you look at not just him, but really the entire offensive group, we had 6 freshmen that were starting, against a defense that was very multiple in what they did. We wanted to put our guys in the best position to go out there and be able to play fast. We wanted to limit some of the looks that we thought we might see. And you look at those drives, and we were in some we were really close to building extensive drives. I think we had, 2 or 3 different, fourth and short opportunities. We went for one that we weren't able to convert, there on the second drive. But, those are things that, we have to continue to grow and get better. But I thought the quarterback and his decision making, he did. He saw the field well. There were a couple plays that he came over on the sideline and, was very open and transparent, the things that he saw, and then maybe a couple things that he didn't see. But his demeanor is incredible. I know I mentioned that after the Pitt game, and just his approach to not only the leadership role that he has as a quarterback, but trying to make others around him better. And I really was impressed with him. And I think there are a lot of positives that we can take out of his first start. And I think guys have a lot of confidence in him, and that's just going to continue to grow as we move forward.
Coach, you had a lot of success with Jashaun Corbin and the Wildcat. Just talk about his growth and development, and also the game that he had on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Jashaun is, I think he's a really good player, and in regards to what he brings, he's a tough back. He does all the things that you want a running back to do. He'll protect. He plays on special teams, catches the ball out of the backfield. He embraces his role and the work that goes into the development in all of those areas. But he's also been a great leader for the offense. And you're talking about a guy that's a sophomore, so he doesn't. It's not like he's the most seasoned vet, but he definitely has experience. Playing the game at a high level. And embracing that role and being an example for the other running backs, but also being an example for offense of what it takes to put yourself in a position to be successful. And it's great to see him have a couple of explosive runs, some of the hard fought yards that he had to truly work for. And I'm so excited about what his future can be, and just and continuing to watch his leadership emerge.
I was wondering if there's any update on Jordan Travis's status, if he'll be able to practice this week. And then also, does the way Chuba performed give you any questions about where you go going forward at that position, even when Jordan is healthy?
Obviously we're excited about getting Jordan back out there and working this week. And it was something that we were watching as it developed last week. But we really went into the week, planning as if we didn't have him, and we were going to react to the opportunity to get him back. But I think Jordan has done some remarkable things this year. He's continuing to learn. It's funny because it's a story of both guys kind of having the same experience. Both were extremely limited in fall camp. Both are getting better with every rep that they get throughout the course of the season. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the future of what we have, and as we watch those guys continue to grow and compete in all aspects of what they do.
Hey, Mike, I'm curious, in a normal year, you guys would have to win out to get bowl eligible. This year obviously is different. Have you heard anything in terms of what would go into potentially getting a bowl invite if you guys would be on the radar? And how would you kind of do the calculus of potentially having some extra practice time for a young team versus the risks of COVID and all of that?
Well, obviously we're focusing on the things that we can control, and that's just improving today. When it comes to bowl situations, we know this is a unique year. There's a lot of other factors that can probably fall into place when it comes to that. Right now with where we are, as a program, our focus has to be on the moment. And we're gonna continue to work to develop our guys to help to continue to build a foundation of where we're going by being our best today. And if we get an opportunity here in the future to play another game, obviously that'd be something that I'd be extremely excited about. But we have to focus on today and obviously this week and what we're trying to do to go out there and put ourselves in the best position to be successful this week.
You talked some about, the youth on the offensive line. I was wondering how you kind of watching the film evaluated Thomas Schrader in his first start, and really, I guess, an offensive line as a whole where you're starting 4 freshmen, how you thought they kind of handled that.
I was pleased. I thought Thomas went out there and he battled throughout the game. Had some freshman moments, but really did some good things. I think he's got an incredible future in front of him. I think you look at Darius went down for a handful of times. Where we had Brady Scott that went in at tackle. Obviously Dante played in different roles there throughout the game, and so we played a couple different combinations. But I think that those young guys are coming along with every day, and they're building confidence in the work. They're learning from the good, and they're learning from some of the mistakes that are showing up. But their belief in what we're doing, their belief and investment in their own development is something that I'm really pleased with. And we're gonna get better with every opportunity we get to take the field. Whether it's a practice situation, and then definitely there on Saturdays.
Coach, you've discussed the growing pains, and I don't have a kid, but one of the metaphors I always hear with parents is you got to let the kids fall and scrape their knees so they kind of learn the lesson of don't do that. How do you balance that, learning from failure with the failure? How do you not just, just yell? How do you let them fail, but also encourage and teach from there?
Well, you don't ever want to see, anyone fail. That's not what we're here trying to be the best that we can possibly be. We want to go out there and achieve success in all aspects, but it's never going to be perfect. And the only way for us to grow is to learn from the good and the bad. And we've seen both sides of it. Obviously, there are some growing pains when you're dealing with players that don't necessarily have that experience, or they're going through their first opportunities in certain situations, and so you have to make sure that you do a great job as a coach of addressing the moment, being able to paint the picture of the correction, and then you got to go apply it in practice. And the thing that I've really been pleased with this team is that their approach to the work, and their approach to their attitude and their mindset when it comes to practice, and we are pushing them hard, and we're continuing to try to build upon that foundation of what it takes to be consistent. And the only way you can be consistent on Saturdays is you got to show up consistent throughout the course of the week. And I think these guys, they want it. We just got to continue to clean up those details and learn from every mistake. Whenever those do show up.
Hi, Mike. Kind of in a similar realm to Perry's question. When you are playing as much youth as you are, I guess, how do you measure growth on a weekly basis? Is it different than, say, if you have a senior heavy team or something like that? And then secondly, have you ever coached a team that's quite this young before?
I have not. This is definitely, we're in a unique situation, and it's not, and I've heard that, and I think it's even been asked about a youth movement or things like that. We're playing, every day that we go out there, we're trying to put the best guys on the field that help us win games. And, that's been our focus, whether it's I know we've utilized, Emmett Rice as an example of a fifth-year senior that's continuing to grow, playing his best ball, getting better. It's the same investment in him as it is with the true freshman that's running out there, for his first career start. And but as we're growing as a team, it is you want to see response. And that's how I judge that growth, is like, do you see a response in all aspects? I think. You look at the last couple of games, we've struggled in the second half. And that's something that came out of the NC State game, is you saw our team continue to build in their confidence, even through failure in the first half, where we weren't as sharp as we wanted to be. But, score 3 second half touchdowns, to see the energy, even, defensively, I thought those guys were flying around, playing together. There was a lot of, encouragement on both sides of the ball, through the good, and then even encouragement through the bad. And so, our guys are working away at trying to respond in a positive manner to all that we see. And so, that's part of where we are. But it's got to show up again. Every time we take that practice field to see that response, in every aspect of what we're doing.
Hey, Mike, getting to the end of this really weird season, I'm curious, kind of 10,000 foot view question, if that's okay. What have you learned about this team and this program, given everything that's gone on?
I mean, it's been an incredible sacrifice for these players, for the coaches. I mean, to be able just to participate in a season and to do the things that they're doing, obviously when they're here at the facility, but then when they're away, it's hard. And then, coupled with, some of the challenging experiences that have shown up, on the field, off the field. I mean, all those things are opportunities to grow. And that's, these guys are going to have some life experiences that they can point back to 2020 as saying, well, I've been through that. So, and that's really just kind of our approach. We're trying to, maintain a positive mindset in growth and opportunity. And that's what we have. And then, at the end of the day, these guys don't always control the circumstance. But they do control their response, and they control how they're going to impact others, whether it's positive, a positive mindset, positive approach, or if we can inspire people through the course of the work that we try to do. And that's, like I said, I've really been pleased with this team as they're growing up in those areas, and we're continue to challenge them to be able to respond to whatever circumstance shows up here later today or tomorrow, that we can go out there and work to be our best.
Coach, I guess, how do you try to maintain consistency as a leader? During the game, we see you, at least on the television feed, you're pretty calm, dialed into what has to happen. But when your players make, I guess, unforced errors, there was a penalty during a kickoff where you got on Travis Jay. There's the timeout you guys had to use before a kickoff where you seem to get pretty animated. I mean, how do you kind of find and strike the balance between staying, I guess, a calm, cool, collected leader, but then also trying to correct things while they happen in real time?
No, absolutely. And I mean, the thing that, there's a lot of things that might show up, throughout the course of the game that, whether it's technique or fundamentals or, just, matchups that, could go one way or the other. But the thing that I expect and that I'm going to demand is just focus and understanding the situations, where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, and it's everybody, it's coaches, players, everybody involved. And, when there's a lapse in focus and understanding the situation, that's when I'm going to, probably be as animated as I can, because, those things are, really inexcusable in my mind, because, you have to be in the course of the game. You have to be in control of your response. I mean, something we talked about earlier in the year with, just our response with, some of the penalties that were showing up, that, things might not be going the way that you want, but you can absolutely be in control of your actions and what you do and, in the response to that. And so, it is, for me, when we're in game day, I'm there to communicate. I'm there to help help these guys adapt and adjust to all the things that are showing up. And so, I'm not going to get too high or too low in the moment. But when it comes to focus and being locked into the situation, I mean, that's a minimum expectation that we have to see.
We'll go back to Kurt.
You said after the pick game, I remember that you have a chart that kind of dictates fourth down decisions. I know a lot of coaches do as well. Is that something where do you change it at all in terms of the decision making of trying to keep that young offense on the field going as many times as you did Saturday? And I guess what was the feedback from? Did you get any feedback from the team about getting to go so many times?
Well, I mean, for us, it's, we're trying to maximize the opportunities and the drives that you get. And through the course of a game, there's only so many that are going to show up. And, I think, there's a lot of factors that go into it. There's, obviously the factors of whether you're up or down, where you are on the field, whether it's, you have 1 yard to go, 3 yards to go, 5, whatever that number is, all plays into the metrics of decisions that we choose to make. And I think there's times that the game feel is going to jump into that decision making process, but we've got to score points when we're on offense, and we got to make sure that yes, the field position battle is something that is important to us, but when you get an opportunity and you got the percentages in your favor, then you just got to go out there and execute and make the play. And, we missed out on a fourth and one opportunity there early in the contest that hurt us. The same, long run that Jay Sean had on was a 4th and 2 later in the game, worked out really well for us. But, we've got to be consistent in our performance. And, obviously we're going to use every down that we have to try to help these players and help this football team, go out there and win games.
Go back to Ira.
2 of the games where you guys have played maybe 2 of your better games, but also got off to great starts was against North Carolina and Notre Dame, 2 highly ranked teams. Was there anything about those weeks of preparation? And obviously you're going up against a great opponent this week. That's kind of similar in terms of a higher stature, but also a top 5 team. That anything that can carry on from those starts, at least going into this kind of game?
I think we've learned from each week of experience. And I think the Notre Dame game was a week that we had a really good Tuesday practice, and really our Wednesday practice wasn't where it needed to be. And when you go back and watch the film, the base down situations were pretty good, and some of the third down situations weren't as good. And so, I think our guys, they know the challenge that's ahead. They know the football team that's coming in here. It's an exceptional team in all aspects. And for us, we've got to go out there and play our best game. But that would be the focus of regardless of who we're playing. And we're at a point. With where we are as a program, we have to improve. We've got to go out there and as a coaching staff, put our guys in a position to be successful, to win this game by just in everything that we're asking them to do, so they can go out there and play fast. You obviously put on display the improvements that we've had from week in and week out, and continue to build confidence through the work that we're putting in. So we got to have a remarkable week of practice. I know our guys are excited for the opportunity to be back at home to play a top quality opponent. But to really go put on display the improvements that we're going to make this week. And, the mindset and approach that we bring to the practice field is going to help us be in that best position once it comes Saturday at noon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.